Newswire on YouTube.
Which means...
Mega 170.
Oh. I think I got one of them hydro thingies again.
Ooh.
Ooh.
You did. It's the Neutrogena Hydro Boost. Nothing in here likes this. And which one is it? Flushed Coral. Ooh. Ah. Ramble on while I type.
On that one.
It would be great.
Everything on these computers is just going like done. I mean, everything was set up, ready to go.
Early, too. This is why we don't prep early.
And it just is now everything's going haywire in a handbasket.
You know why?
Why?
Because you touched it. You know why else? Because today's National Carrot Cake Day, and we don't have carrot cake. And tomorrow's National Create a Vacuum Day. You know what? We'll go with homemade chicken.
Hey, look!
We'll go with homemade chicken soup day. All right, we're going on Facebook. It's because I said carrot cake. You can't go wrong with a good carrot cake.
I will agree with that.
You really can't. And it's like there's vegetables in it, so it's healthy. Counts. It does. Anyone disagrees, they're lying. Don't be friends with them anymore. Serious.
That funky slide guitar music that comes on every Monday through Friday, live at 5 on IE Newswire on Twitch, Facebook, and
on YouTube. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and share us all over your world, and head over to our Twitch account and hit that purple follow button. That's all I got.
I don't know why is it purple? That just...
Because that's like their background. Why do you have a thing against purple?
Yeah, it's just kind of weird. Why would you have a purple button?
Because YouTube's red, Facebook's blue, Twitter's like that light foo-foo blue. They need a purple. People need purple in their life. It's a nice...
What kind of blue was that?
A foo-foo. Only because I can't say the other word.
Oh, man.
It is what it is. It's a pretty blue. It's just a
sure
foo-foo.
Picking up the hillbilly language.
No, a foo-foo has been around forever. Hasn't it? Oh, yeah, it's totally hillbilly. That's right. Carry on. It's National Carrot Cake Day. I'm in a great mood.
Where's the carrot cake?
At the store.
They're probably run out if it's National Carrot Cake. I wonder how many people actually know it's National Carrot Cake Day.
Not many, because I wasn't on yesterday and I didn't get to tell everybody.
Well, there you go. So
see, that's why I go a day ahead. Tomorrow's National Homemade Soup Day, so somebody make us some soup.
There you go. Yes,
that would be great.
Desperately.
Mm-hmm.
Make a big pot of it, because I'll eat most of it.
Yeah, you will.
Lots of stuff going on. We're going to have Eddie George on here in a few minutes. We haven't had him on. Well, hopefully. We'll see if we... Sometime... The way things have been going here lately, I mean, everything was almost crashing when we started. And then, voila, everything came back just right at 5 o'clock. We thought we were going, maybe you're just going to listen to Roy and Steph talk for
That's
an
scary.
hour of that. But everything seems to come back. We'll see if we can get... the aforementioned Eddie George on the blower here. We haven't had him on in a long time. Hell, I think we switched presidents since the last time he's been on. So he's a very interesting character, head of him at IE News. We got trannies, crooks, and thieves, all of that, how they all intertwine, and that we'll bring it to you later, all coming up on our jam-packed show for today. So, lots of stuff on that going through. Whether you're spoiled, rotten, whizzing down your leg. Some of the stuff you just can't make up going across the board on that. But We haven't had him on in a long time, and it's just our schedules ain't matched up or whatever on that. He's been busy. We've had this and that and the other. But welcome back. I think we've changed president since the last time we had this guy on. He's the chief cook and bottle washer on Hemet IE News, along with Lori and the rest of the gang that keep you all informed on Hemet, the goings on over there each and every day. Eddie George, welcome to IE Newswire with Steph and Roy.
What's up, Roy? How you doing, man? I'm just over here stirring my pot of soup for tomorrow for the National Soup Day.
Yes, are you going to send some over? Because I will. If you make me a big pot of soup, I'll probably eat it all in one shot.
Man, I'll tell you what, this is the most hillbilly redneck soup.
Oh, you're killing me already.
Making me some clam possum chowder.
Wow,
man, best you ever get in the South.
Can we cut the show off right now and head over to Eddie's?
Come on over, bro. the possum's fresh roadkill. I made it from Roadkill Cafe, bro.
You know, I haven't seen a possum. I mean, you used to see them back in the day when Moreno Valley was like a real hillbilly town. You used to see possums all the time. It's been probably like 3 or 4 or 5 years since I've seen a possum around here.
Yeah, we cooked them all. You know, I came out here and, we cooked them all. So. But how you been, man? It's been a long time.
Yes, it has.
So
what the hell? What
hasn't been matching up?
Yeah, there you go. What have you been up to out there at Hemet IE News?
Oh, well, we're still out here chasing the idiots and, following our PD out here. We're actually, we're getting ready to launch a show out here. It's going to be like a live PD type show, but it's going to be real, unedited, raw. We see it, you see it. We got us a vehicle all decked out with video equipment and everything, and it will allow us to actually, do a reality show. We got cameras set up in the car and all the radios to monitor the police frequencies. And our cameras will transmit back to the car from 400 feet away and broadcast everything live to you as we see it on scene. So it's going to be called Media's 97, which police code means Media's on scene. And we're going to be getting up close with all of our CHP, RSO, and HPD and show you the real shit in the dark that they deal with at night. So it's going to be a night featured show.
I was going to call it Eddie George on the loose. Watch the hell out.
That's right. What you going to do when he comes for you, the crazy guy with the lazy eye?
There you go on that. It has. We've been, a lot of stuff's been going on and all that. Just want to, and we've been pushing the recall Gavin Newsom and stuff on that. I mean, here in the state of California, we're under assault big time on that. At least in my view on that. Where do you stand on the recall of Gavin Newsom?
Get his ass out of office.
Thank you.
And put Chad Bianco in there, man.
Yes. That would be awesome.
That's just plain and simple, I can say. We need somebody else in office. So anybody can do a better job than he is. So, yeah, if anybody, you get a chance to see a recall Newsom, sign that petition, let's get him out. As a community, we can do it together.
I've been saying that, we're under assault like that, but I've said it many, many times. Don't let the cancer of California spread across the 49 states. And I've said this, and I just said, really, depending on our plight nationally, but we should be, and I've been pushing this real hard, we should nationalize this recall election. Because if we can stop this madness that's been going on of that in California and turn it around, maybe we can stop the trend that is starting in the District of Criminals and this stuff, and maybe we can turn this stuff around. Because really, and in all seriousness aside, California is the most important state in the United States and probably the world. You could practically run most of the natural resources out of California on that. Most people don't know. We are sitting under probably the largest oil reserves in the entire world under the ground of California. We just can't pump them out. That's how much impact California can have, not only in the United States or the nation, or how much influence we have. And for far too long, and it really has nothing to do with right or left. You cannot let one side, as we have done in California, drive this state clear off the left end of the ridiculous end of it. That will lead to your destruction. That pendulum has swung too far to the left. We got to start peeling it, not to the right. We got to start peeling it back just to the center.
All right, exactly. We need to start uniting together, That's what I tell people all the time, if we unite together, we'll survive together.
Yes. And and it's not so much, Gavin Newsom has made a mess on down with all that. I don't know if you've heard the reports. We've been broadcasting like crazy. $31 billion in welfare, unemployment fraud just in the last 10 months. That's just the fraud.
Yeah, exactly. And it's going to get worse, I guarantee you.
And you know who they're going, ultimately, who's got to pay that bill. And if you don't know, go look in the mirror, because eventually that bill is going to come due.
Yep, exactly. It's not free money, folks. They're going to want it back in the long run.
It is on that. Speaking of that and the COVID, so you mentioned Chad Bianco, and we haven't covered it, but I guess he did have the COVID disease, but it doesn't look, again, he didn't die from it. There's
Nope.
There's no panic. There is no real the biggest crime in this whole thing is the closing and the continuing closing of schools all across our state. It's absolutely criminal, the damage they're doing to our kids.
Exactly. Yeah, talking about Chad Bianco, he did fully recover from the COVID. He's out. Looks like he's on a vacation somewhere enjoying the snow. And I hear people all the time talking about, they want to recall Newsom. Shoot, you can't get rid of, or not recall Newsom, recall Chad Bianco.
What?
You're not going to be able to recall. You can't get rid of Chad Bianco. Even the COVID couldn't get rid of him. So, he's stuck, bro. Y'all stuck with him.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, what is it? You finally get a sheriff in town that actually is doing a great job.
Right.
And then you want to get him out. Come on, folks. Oh, I know what it is. It's the people that probably Chad put in jail that wants to recall his ass, So, hey, I think out of all the sheriffs, Chad Bianco is the man. He's doing a great job. And I even told Chad, I says, after he kind of put Newsom out on blast, basically called him a hypocrite, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that, but that's what it sounded like. And I was like, Chad, I said, that was the best PSA you ever put out. And I said, you should run for governor. I said, I'll vote for you 100%, and support him. That's who we need, Chad Bianco as governor.
We need somebody. Anybody that's just halfway looking out for the people on this thing. And that's part of and it looks very much like that the recall of Gavin Newsom is going to fly. And what we really need to do on this whole enchilada is, whoever it is, we need to get behind one candidate that's going to work, whoever that is, that's going to work for the people, and get behind him this time. We don't need another Arnold Schwarzenegger like we got on the last recall of that. We need to get somebody. Don't care who it is, as long as we get somebody in there that's going to go in there and kick ass and take names.
I vote for Stephanie. I think she'll do a good
yes.
job.
That is the best. That's the best answer. You can't go.
Right,
I'll second that.
They always ask me all the time, especially during this presidential election. You're a Trump supporter, or you're a Republican, you're a Democrat. I'm not. I'm neither one. I said, I'm not a Republican and I'm not a Democrat. I'm not for Trump. I'm not for Biden. I'm a Republican. I'm for whoever's going to get in, do the job, do it right, and be for the people and not for the pockets. That's who I am, so call me a Republican.
There you go.
I'm going to steal that.
And it really is.
I'll let you use it. You're the only one. You and Roy can be the only one that can use that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Permission.
Yes, we got permission to use Eddie George's phrase on that. No, it's absolutely incredulous of what's going on this whole thing. We've got this whole thing has got not only our state like I say, when the bills come due with all this stuff, we're in, as the old commercial was, we're in a heap of trouble, boy. And that we're gonna have to, we're and who's ever in there, there's gonna have to be some tough decisions made, and there's gonna have to be somebody of a strong will to do it, to make it, pull it off, leading the state. And that's what I say. Chad or sheriffs can do so much, but when you've got the state or the legislature fighting them, or nobody's on the same page, it's like this whole teacher thing. Even Gavin Newsom's starting to expose the teachers that are not wanting to go back to school, and through their unions and stuff. And he's saying, I can't do, if you want a perfect environment, you know what? You're never going to get it. When you keep saying safety, I mean, there's a risk of getting out of bed in the morning. You cannot make everything. If you're going to say that everything's going to be 100% safe, we might as well pack it up and leave now, because you're never going to. The utopia doesn't exist.
That's right. I'm gonna move to Madagascar where it does.
And we might be doing that. I mean, that might be, if we keep down this path, it might leave a lot of us no choice than to bail on it, because if they crash the whole system, then we're all going to be in a bigger world of hurt than we have ever known. And the potential they've done with this stuff over the last 10 months has put us in a very precarious position, not only in California but nationwide, on that. And then the continuing talk that this is going to last mostly through 2021, I don't think we can take it. I mean, from all sorts of standpoints.
Yeah, this is my opinion, and everybody says I'm a news reporter. I don't supposed to have an opinion, but I am human, so I do have an opinion.
You can have an opinion when you're on IE Newswire. We want to hear it straight from Eddie George.
So here's my opinion, folks. I think the COVID is more difficult thing than anything. I mean, because look at Chad Bianco. It didn't kill him. It didn't kill Trump. I think a lot of the deaths that we've been having out here, Roy and Stephanie, is it's a label. If you notice, since this COVID pandemic, we have never had no heart attack deaths, no auto accident deaths, no stroke deaths, or no natural cause deaths anymore. It's all been COVID. So it's. I've known so many people, Roy, that has had deaths in the family, and they labeled it COVID, and they had to fight like heck, cats and dogs, just to get that off the death certificate. I think well, I'm not going to say democratic, but I'm going to say it's a political thing. That's my opinion.
It's a dollar thing, and we had Dr. Kelly Victory on yesterday, and we pointed it out. Really, of the 400,000 they're saying nationwide, only 6%, per the Center of Disease Control of the United States government, only 6% of those are actually COVID. Is the only was the only disease that was in there that actually 20,000. In a natural flu season, every year we have in the last decade, we've had anywhere from 24,000 to 90,000, depending on the year. So actually, and when they were counting flu deaths, that was the deaths that were only attributed to the flu only. There were no contributing factors, comorbidities, and all that other jargon going on. So we are actually, in 2020, as the stats were, we were actually, if not the lowest, on the very low end of the scale of what we would lose in a virus flu season in any year, due solely to COVID or the flu or anything else. And to shut down our economy as they have done, as they have basically, in my opinion, tortured our kids, not letting them go to school, not socializing with their friends, and all of us, the lockdown orders and no eating in restaurants, of that. To do that for one of the lowest virus flu season death rate in the year is beyond comprehension of evil.
Yeah, and Roy, to me, I really, what I've been watching and experiencing, I don't think this COVID is really designed to kill people. I think it's designed to kill our economy, and that's where it's headed to. just our economy is not going to be able to handle this. I mean, look how many businesses that we've already, had go under. I don't understand. People can go in Walmart and stand in lines at Walmart, but yet we can't eat in a restaurant. Go figure.
Yeah. Not only myself, but any rational thinking human being, I don't think, can wrap their head around that. And I think that's why you see that in the frustration. You see it in the people just coming together to recall Gavin Newsom and all this other stuff coming on. One thing, and I want to run this story by before I let you go on this, because this was let me see if I can find it here. Where's the Super Bowl story at?
Dun, dun,
oh, there we go. Joe Renda, Tampa strip club king, preps for the Super Bowl. Kind of along the lines of that. Joe Render, owner of Mons Venice Strip Club and government antagonist extraordinaire, is 80 years old and has been beaten cancer 3 times and thinks it's about 6 years left. What's happening? He's getting ready for another Super Bowl as his club sits just as stone's throw from Raymond Stadium. A sign of longevity is one of the autofill suggestions that pops up as Joe Render still alive. Why it matters? I'm going to say this. Tampa is notorious for its strip club industry, is often mislabeled as a strip club capital of America. Do you know where the strip club capital of the world is in America is, Eddie George?
No, but let me know and I'll go check it out.
I will let you know, because that honor actually belongs, and I wouldn't have guessed this, Portland, Oregon.
Oh, my God.
Really?
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that in a million. I mean, you would have said maybe Las Vegas or Chicago or maybe New York City, Los Angeles, San Francisco, or something like that. I would have never guessed Portland, Oregon would be the strip.
I was going to guess Hammond because they always have them stripping out here on the streets, but...
I would have guessed Moreno Valley, that back in the 60s when...
Moreno Valley doesn't even have a strip club here.
Well, I know, but back in the 60s when March Air Force Base was the biggest strategic air command base west of the Mississippi, all that, and they had over 10,000 people that were there. I think at the high count in the 60s, there was 23 bars, topless, bottomless, strip club bars in Moreno Valley in and around the 60s and that. So we could have probably claimed that back in the day.
Right.
And now you know.
Exactly. Now you know.
The more you know, people. The more you know.
So that was
That's
that.
it.
I mean, I'm boycotting most of the sports until they put people in the stands and stuff. But I thought that was kind of a neat thing. 2 things. The old guy thinks he's got 8 years left. He's beaten cancer 3 times. He's a government antagonist, and hyperbole on top of hyperbole on that. Even claim he doesn't care. He's still going to say Tampa's the strip club capital of the world, even though Portland, Oregon is. Anything else you want to get out before we let you go, Eddie?
Not really. Just appreciate you having us on the show. I do want to make sure, Roy, I do want to talk to you after the show. I've got a guy that you need to interview. We're actually doing a story on him right now, talking about the censorship of, Facebook and Polar and all that.
Right.
This guy's got some information that they're actually giving the FBI all the Trump supporters' database and information off of Polar to the FBI just to censor stuff about this election. This guy got some really good stories, and he's got the facts to back everything up. So definitely I'm going to send you our interview and let you preview it. And definitely I want you to have this gentleman on your show.
We'll do it.
So,
awesome.
But other than that, folks, hey, make sure you do look out for us on actioninews.com. That's actioneyenews.com. That's where our reality show is going to be previewed at. Hopefully get it going in about 2 weeks. Also follow us on YouTube under the Crazy Guy with a Lazy Eye.com and also himandInews.com. Until then, Roy, it's good chatting with you and Stephanie, and I'm going to go ahead and get off your chair, and my hillbilly butt is off your air.
Awesome.
There's the great Eddie George from him at IE News, along with Lori
care,
and
Eddie.
all the Alex and all the crew that
You
keep
too.
that. Yeah, keep that stuff running down there each and every day. Great site. If you want to know what's happening inside out and everywhere around in Hemet, go check out him at IE News.
Steven writes in and wanted to know if Club 215 was once a strip club. I thought it was.
Oh yeah,
topless
that's the one.
only, though.
Wasn't that the one that the police chief of Riverside was drunk, got caught drunk with the flat tires coming back, and he had to resign over that. Yeah, 215.
He had to resign over that?
Oh yeah. Well,
Why?
Yeah, because he got caught. He was at the Club 215, and he was coming back because that's over in Colton, coming back to Riverside, and got stopped drunker than a skunk, if I
okay.
remember.
Well, yeah,
yeah,
he
got
was drunk.
stopped for DUI on
I
that.
thought he just got in trouble because he was at a strip club.
No, he was. He was.
I mean, I could see where it'd be frowned upon, but to lose
I
your job
believe
over that would be.
You can't remember which one. It was one of them, I think. We'll have to get Jason Hunter back on.
Carla's back.
Carla's back.
Hi, Carla.
On that,
I missed you.
Did?
I always miss Carla. Love Carla.
We love Carla. No, that was that. Yeah, that you said. It started out as a top deck restaurant. It was a gas station below and a restaurant, coffee shop on top, and then that didn't.
Steven writes in he got an escort home though. LOL.
Yeah, there was a.
What kind of escort are we talking about here?
Oh,
Hey, it's a legit question. It's a legit question. Right?
They called up the chicks down at the Club 215, and no, I think it was actually a police escort home. Now it was kind of a big brouhaha back in a few years ago down in Riverside of what was going on. But the incredulousness enough of our public employees, or the arrogance of the and entitlement they come through. The latest is this whole schools thing and teachers and everything else. They're just flat. There is no more evidence that you need. They're just flat refusing to go back to work. And as Chicago, I need to check on, I haven't been able to check on Chicago, but when Mayor of Chicago, Lori Lightfoot, is threatening to fire the teachers if they don't show up to work, something's wrong, because Lori Lightfoot's probably 6 degrees left of center of Gavin Newsom. And when Gavin Newsom's even saying, hey, we're having, if the teachers are going to demand 100% perfection before they go back to class, we're never going to get there. When that veil is starting to crack, then there is real problems. That ain't just a bunch of white dudes with a cowboy hat saying this. This is the ones the teachers unions put millions of dollars in to put into office, and they're even starting to tell the truth. So hopefully we'll get some more honesty in our government on that. Want to play this one clip because this is funny. Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, great guy. I mean, same thing. Same variant that's going around California right now is going around Florida. Their schools are open. Disneyland's open. The restaurants, bars, and everything else are open. They're not panicking. They're not having any more difficulty with COVID than we are in California. Yet, we're doing that. But, we've had this whole, Joe Biden and Hunter Biden, the story that got buried of them and their connections, the Biden crime family's connections to the Chinese government and stuff. So one of these reporters tries to pigeonhole Ron DeSantis, which Ron DeSantis doesn't have really nothing to do. He's the governor of Florida. He's not the president of the United States. But they're asking him about that. So he has a very colorful answer for the reporter when it goes. So we'll see if we can get the video.
So I woke up this morning with
this, and that, as it does that all the time on me. So let's see if we can skip the ad and see if we can get Ron going.
Posting on the internet to have any, any kind of regulation or any kind of, accurate portrayal of events, because a lot of this is, driven. The deplatforming seems to be driven by somebody who did something that provoked the platform's attention.
Well, I think it's been done in a way that's completely unprincipled. They mentioned the Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden's story was true. Okay, we now know it was true. And the typical corporate media outlets, they just chose to ignore it. Obviously, they wanted to beat Trump. They had a view on the election. They didn't want to give it any air. So we rely on social media to go around that, not let corporate legacy media outlets control the discourse and let us speak. So you had the New York Post to run it, and you couldn't get any traction. You couldn't get any reach on it because big tech put their thumb on the scale. So that was true. What they said at the time, it's a conspiracy, or it's based on hacked information. Are you kidding me? You're trying to tell me if there was hacked information that could damage me, you guys wouldn't print it? Give me a break. You can whiz on my leg, but don't tell me it's raining. You guys would print it every single day if you could. And big tech would allow it to proliferate every single day, 24/7. So it's not being done on a principled basis, and it's not. There's threats on me, and it only gets taken down if law enforcement goes and tells them to do it. Otherwise, it just stays up. They're not moderating any of that. So they haven't done a good job in it. The thumb's always on the scale in one direction, and we just need to bring some protection for folks. I really, really worry when you have a business owner that may rely on some of these tools to do small business. If they engage in wrongthink or they go to the wrong political event, then all of a sudden they can act in concert and just take you off. You need to have protection against that.
Along with Ron's colorful language here, whizzing down your, I thought that was a great. He's got a point. We're going to get in the, Jeff Bezos resigned as CEO of Amazon, and we'll get into that in the next half hour and some more of the news stories coming up on that as we roll into KMET. Look at all those jingle palettes on there. Man, it was going crazy when we were doing that.
30 seconds.
We see where the technical problem was on the deal. No, it was, but no, Ron DeSantis, plain talking. Actually, if we would have had a Ron DeSantis type as governor of California, we would not be in the pickle we are.
Greek in your kaipa.
IE Newswire Daily is on the air.
The proceeding was a paid program. Views and claims expressed are those of the program producer and are not endorsed by this station.
Guitar music. It comes on every Monday through Friday on the runner at 1490 AM, broadcasting all over the AM airwaves in the inland. Joining our vast audience on IE Newswire video on Facebook, Twitch, and
I'm so nervous on YouTube. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and share us all over your world, and head over to our Twitch account and hit the very beautiful purple follow button.
If you want to know why that emphasis on the purple one, you'll have to go back to IE Newswire on one of our videos and watch the first part of the show, which you should do anyway, because we had the great Eddie George back on the air after a long absence, not due to that we didn't want him on, it's just our schedules weren't working or anything like that. But we had Eddie on for the first part, about 20 minutes, the first part of the show. So all you Eddie George fans that are tuning in on that, that are tuning in on KMET 1490, go back and check out IE Newswire on the video of that on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube, and watch our interview with Eddie George of Him at IE News. Eddie and Lori, Alex, and the whole crew give you the straight scoop, unedited and raw from the news going on in Hemet. Even some of the stuff you might not want to hear, but you should. Of that great folks over there, we covered. We played the video of Governor of Florida Ron DeSantis of that, talking about that, and I mean, the reporters going after him. Of that. The tale of two coasts, the East Coast, Florida, West Coast, California. Ron DeSantis, freedom and liberty type governor, government control versus Gavin Newsom. got the same variant of COVID up there. Most of Florida is opened up. Bars, restaurants, schools, Disneyland, SeaWorld, everything else are functioning. We are locked down in California tighter than a drum. With the same parameters, you can't say this or that. And if we just, and this is the importance of www.recallgavin2020.com. We got to get this Klondike out. We're getting close to the signature threshold. We got about 5 weeks left to go, and it's no time to let up. We got to have plenty more. We're about 1.3. We got about 1.5 good, so we got to get about anywhere between about 1.8 and 2 million signatures to start the process to have the recall election on Gavin Newsom and get that doofus out of office. But why I played the Ron DeSantis clip first on that, is showing that. And Joe Biden, they're trying to go after him out of the Hunter Biden stuff. And they're saying, well, you guys didn't report that. And the social media aspect of this.
We need air
of that. And but same thing of all this stuff. I mean, we got these big companies, Facebook, Google, now Amazon, basically controlling the media information flow in very small parts. You heard, probably a lot of you heard Jeff Bezos resigned as chief CEO, chief operating officer chief executive officer, of Amazon, which means he runs the whole thing. He founded it, built the whole empire. It's his baby. Good $150 billion worth and all that other stuff. Been getting killer rich off of these lockdowns, but that's a story from another day. But it's kind of not. This is in CBS News, number 4, please. Amazon kept $62 million in tips intended for drivers, Federal Trade Commission says. Amazon needs to pay back nearly $62 million in drivers' tips that it skimmed over the years, federal regulators said Tuesday. The Federal Trade Commission unveiled a complaint against commerce giant on Tuesday, alleging that Amazon's Flex program stole nearly $62 million in tips from its army of drivers between 2016-2019. Rather than passing along 100% of customers' tips to drivers, as it had promised to do, Amazon used the money itself. Daniel Kaufman, acting director of FTC's Bureau of Consumer Protection, said in the statement. The news of the settlement comes as Amazon's founder, Jeff Bezos, said he was stepping down as CEO, capping off a year of mediocre growth for the e-commerce company.
But when did Amazon start taking tips?
The drivers, as soon as they started, it says in 2015, Amazon's Flex allowed ordinary people to sign up for shifts using their personal car to deliver packages. From that point to 2019, they were promised by Amazon whatever tips were 100% theirs.
I didn't know that you could even give a tip to them.
You can give a tip to anybody.
But some places can't take it. I thought they were one of those places that couldn't take it.
Obviously not.
But if you get it in cash, how would Amazon know that they're getting a tip? Oh, because they did it digitally?
Yes, because you have to declare that as income. And yeah, it could be on your credit card, the danger of that. But yeah, you have to report any tip income, is my understanding, to the Internal Revenue Service Franchise Tax Board as income on that. Soon after the Amazon Flex launched, however, the company started skimming drivers' tips, the FTC claims. In 2016, the company secretly switched to variable pay system where the amount of drivers earned would fluctuate based on internal algorithm, regulators allege. Under this system, the complaint alleges Amazon could advertise a payment of $18 to $24 for a particular delivery, but if the customer tips $6, Amazon would only pay the driver $12 an hour for a total of an $18 payment. So they were deducting the tips off of the wage supposed to get instead of paying them the agreed to $18 an hour and plus whatever the tips they earned, they would go.
This is why I don't like Amazon.
Exactly. This is why, in my opinion, and this is what is wrong with our judicial system.
Edward writes in, Roy must be keeping Steph's tips. I don't get any. But feel free and send them this way.
And 100% of the tips you send to Stephanie will go to her. But Amazon did not admit wrongdoing in the settlement. The company is required to pay $62 million to the FTC, which the agency will distribute to drivers. The agreement is formally bars the company from lying about tips in the future and requires it to get drivers' consent with changing payment models. And this is why they should have prosecuted and put in jail, if this was the case, in my opinion, Jeff Bezos and everybody else.
Because if it was the other way around and they were stealing money from him,
yes,
what the hell would happen?
While continuing to read from the article, while we disagree that the historical way we reported or paid our drivers was unclear, no, it doesn't appear to be unclear. We added additional clarity in 2019. Are pleased to put this matter behind us, Amazon spokesman told CBS in a statement. And if Amazon Flex partners play an important role in servicing our customers every day, which they can earn the best in the industry at over $25 an average. FTC Commissioner Rohit Chopra urged that the agency impose further penalties and investigate if Amazon broke any anti-monopoly laws, noting that the alleged scheme likely produced significant benefits for the company. Duh! They bagged $62 million that they had promised allegedly to the drivers on stealing tips is absolute. That's to stealing. Amazon didn't earn that. The driver or like the waitress at the restaurant, they're the ones that earn that tip by giving you good service, dropping your package off, taking care of you, going the extra mile. If you like the service or the waitress at the restaurant's doing a really good job taking you, filling up your coffee cup or whatever, on and on and on, that, and you give her a extra tip or a big tip, that should be 100%. She earned that by the service she gave to you. The company per se didn't do anything with that. That's your gratuity. Thank you to the person that is going the extra mile to make your life easier. And to take that money, that's why I say they should have society. They should have started with Jeff Bezos, and they should have prosecuted everybody in that company and made them put 10 years of hard time in jail, not at the country club prison, at the regular lockup like every other criminal gets. And then you would see a stop. Zuckerberg and Dorsey at Twitter, and Zoom, and all these others that said they weren't going to sell our information, it did, should suffer the same fate. Then you would see this stuff knocked off real fast. And it would not start because they $62 million to Bezos and Amazon is not. That's like you or me spending $2 in equivalent. It doesn't hurt them a bit. Not only that, they're only paying back the $62 million. They should have paid that back triple. And the check shouldn't have come. Amazon should have been forced to write a check for 3 times the amount of the money they did not pass to the drivers on that, just as a fine for doing that. But probably even more than that, probably 10 times. It should have been $620 million payout. They should have paid the drivers 10 to 1 for not getting that, on top of the jail sentence. This is what's wrong with our society. They got an interest-free loan for 3 years and then pay it back 6 years. They're getting an interest-free loan for 6 years of $62 million on the backs of the drivers that went out there and earned those tips.
Carla writes in, what's the average tip to give a delivery person, though? Which is a great question. I'm curious as to what that would be, too.
Yeah, I don't
I guess
know.
if you got like $5 in
yeah,
there,
yeah,
or a couple
whatever.
bucks.
Yeah, you wouldn't necessarily do it on the value. Of
I
the
didn't.
package.
I didn't realize that the drivers took tips. But when I worked at Fridays and we had our tips, we had to claim what we had, and a percentage did get taken for taxes or whatever.
Right.
So I mean, I get that part, but to take all that money, I think that's wrong. That nothing's being done about that, because like I said, if it was the other way around and some employee was taking that much money out of his stockpile of items, that person, that person would be in jail, he or she, right?
Yes, if you were taking or your company, let's say when you were working at Fridays, I don't know the procedure, but just let's say this was a procedure. You'd come in, you don't want to be carrying cash while you're working in case you get robbed or something.
We always carry cash.
But I mean, let's just say you're putting all the tip money in one box, because a lot of them share it with the cooks and every day Fridays, but some share it with the bus boy and the deal.
Yeah, you split it when you're done.
Right. So you're putting it all in one pile or whatever. Let's just say you were working at Fridays and the manager of Fridays said, well, we're just going to take 30% of that.
That did happen to me one time when I worked somewhere. Why does it do that? So annoying. But that did happen. I worked for a country club, and I was like the beer chick that would go on the golf cart and drive around and deliver the beers.
Right.
I mean, you got men out on the golf course drunk, so it was already an interesting job within itself. Then my boss...
Secrets from Stephanie.
Then my boss told me, when you come in tomorrow, wear a lower cut shirt and shorter shorts. And make sure it's like a hot pink or something that stands out.
Wow.
Okay. Oh, and I'm going to take half of your tips, too. Took half my tips. You know what I did? I didn't come back the next day.
But no, after saying...
But just with the shorts and the lower cut shirt, I get his point. I get where you're going with that. I mean, obviously. I don't need to do that, though, because your men are all drunk and pervs anyways, so it doesn't matter what I wear.
Wow.
But
what a way to flash half the population right down the toilet.
But just the fact of saying that, like, what? You're not a good...
But I mean, well...
Yeah. Like a month down the road, ended up getting his butt kicked for cheating on his wife with some other married friend's wife or whatever. Got fired. It was a whole...
I don't believe that.
Yeah, I know.
No, but it
Crazy,
would be the thing, like... Let's say Fridays is whatever, the tips are all yours. You guys split it up between yourselves, the cooks and the busboys and waitresses or whatever. And then all of a sudden they walk in and say, well, we're just taking 30% of this or whatever. That's what... If you agreed to that when you came in and said, okay, 30% of the tips going to the company, that was it. If you knew that up front, then that's an agreement you either, like you say, like you did with the situation as the beer chick. When they said, well, yeah, come in with some hot pink short shorts and low cut dress, I think I will work somewhere else.
Right.
And that's what if you would agree to that. Now, if you would have took the job and they would have said, well, part of the job is, you got to wear the low, you got to wear a tube top and short pink short shorts or cut off jeans or whatever, and you accepted the job, then that's an agreement for you. But after you get the job and then they're telling you this, that's where they're breaking the agreement. Like Amazon said, if Amazon said the drivers were getting 100% of the tips, they were entitled to 20 or 30% or all of the tips. If you're taking that money, in my mind, that is stealing. Plain and simple. You are taking something that is not entitled to you, and especially Jeff Bezos did not need to steal tips from his freaking drivers for any reason.
Really, he doesn't. And that's disgusting that he would act that way.
And you see why I say.
But you know what? A lot of people that work for Amazon are miserable. During the summer, they didn't even fix the air conditioner out here when my nephew worked there. It was just the way they treat their employees is horrible. It's sad. And when you're so successful, it's sad.
And you see why I say they should break up Facebook and whatever, Google or whatever, and Zoom, that are lying saying we don't sell your information, and they do. And why I say Zuckerberg And the crew and Dorsey and whomever the guy is Zoom, in my opinion, should be sitting in the same cell block as Jeff Bezos in federal hard time Leavenworth rock breaking. Bust the rocks into little rocks and then stack them up over here, and then we'll bring you more rocks for 8 hours, and you're going to sledgehammer them into little rocks until you figure out maybe that wasn't a necessarily good idea. We cannot, if we tolerate it in that, then how can you say, again, equal protection under the law, 14th Amendment of the Constitution? You're not applying it equally. You're letting these guys off with less than a slap on the wrist.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Ridiculous. But if you still choose to work there after, they have to know that they got left a tip and they didn't get it. Well,
that's when they finally figured it out after 3 years or whatever, and they're getting.
It's sad that it took that long, because the employees, I'm sure they would have on there somewhere saying that Susan from her tiny table she mistakenly bought. You know what I mean?
Wow. Way to throw Mom under the bus.
Well, I mean, it's all right. She does it often. Like, so much, it's sad. But me and my sisters inherited that problem too, so that's why I blame her.
Now our sisters under the bus.
Sorry, they don't watch.
They probably will be now.
I tell them not to, because they talk crap.
Why your looks can make you look like a crook. Good-looking teenagers are more likely to break the law. Study says, despite scientists expectedly to find uglier people turn to crime. Study U.S. teens found good-looking people were more likely to break the law, and analysts had expected uglier people to turn in crime after a life of frustration. Previous studies found judges lenient when sentencing attractive people. If you would,
I had an image for this yesterday.
I don't even understand this, because we've done the studies. Good-looking people get paid more. They do less work. They don't get the jobs, or the bosses of what's going on since time immemorial. It's not fair, and it's what I've said. You're not going to make a perfect world out of that. You cannot make a law to do that. It's human nature. You can try and do that, but it's going to happen, and you know what? Deal with it. It's, you cannot, again, what is it that people get to or think you can mandate or put a law that's going to make us all equal? We're not. All of us have inherent advantages and disadvantages. But 98.7% of where you go in this world is what you do with them. And that's the bottom line fact in my, that I see. And dispute that. If you want to come on and dispute that, you got the floor. Let's debate that. Because it is. Like I said, I would never play linebacker for the Chicago Bears. Not big enough, strong enough of that. So what? Should I go to the NFL and say, well, just because I wasn't as big as Dick Butkus and fast and strong as that, you should grant me the starting job as middle linebacker for the Chicago Bears just because that's what I want to do. And that's what, okay, you're not going to be middle linebacker for Chicago Bears. You better figure out something else you're going to do because that's out of the equation.
But I think if you really wanted to be a linebacker for Chicago Bears, you would make it happen.
Yeah, and probably get my skull crushed in the first play on the guys that are three
but
times.
But I don't think that a person's going to want to do something that they're just naturally not good at.
And that's what I say. That's the extreme example, but it's like this. Everybody's got advantages. The movie actor or actress that is not good looking, if you're not good looking, you're not going to play the lead role, or you're not going to be popular or be on the TV shows.
I totally disagree with that, though.
Most of them, the superstars, are what? Well, take Lady Gaga or whatever, or who Jennifer Lopez.
I don't think Lady Gaga is like, oh my God. I mean, I think it's all how you perceive a person, though, too. It's not what's on the outside; it's what's on the inside. Right? You like my little photo, though? Cute versus ugly.
Yeah,
it made my heart happy. See, but I'd pet and love both of the cats equally.
But Mo, you put a litter of kittens in there, and I bet you put the same litter of kittens, and I bet you 9 times out of 10, if you said which kitten do you want, people would pick the cutest kitten of that, and if you had to run one, 9 times out of 10 people, and they've done the sociological studies and done the trials of this. You can watch it 9 times. If you study human behavior, you will see 9 times out of 10 people will pick the cutest cat out of the litter.
See, but we ended up with Coco Purple because she was the ugliest dog my son's ever seen. So my kids don't think that way.
That's a cool dog. Loves the hell out of me.
I don't know. I see something's wrong with her.
See now, you're disparaging the ugly dog.
Not right there. I'm just saying something's wrong with
her. But no, it is. It's associated. You know, you.
I think that's where the world needs to change their perspective on things in life and not go for stuff like that.
It would be great if that was. It's just not. It never will be. You can't mandate that.
And that's fine, but I think bringing it to light in the article, not so much us, is going to enhance that more and keep it going.
And that's why I bring it up, you know, and like you say about, and probably a lot why I don't watch TV or movies or stuff, because I don't idolize those people. I don't idolize the one, you know, like when you were whatever TV show with the guy that died a couple of days ago. Have you ever seen whatever goofball on Main Street or whatever this TV show was?
Saved by the Bell?
Yeah, I think that was it. I mean, that's why. Yeah, they're talented. That I think people put worship, whatever you want to say. Put those. They're human beings like everybody else. I don't see why we stack people on the pecking order of that for a variety of reasons, especially on looks, just because they happen to look hotter than you. You know, they necessarily should be put on a pedestal.
Are you feeling left out, Roy?
Well, yes, I've suffered that lower end of the scale, the ugly end of the scale on that for my entire life.
Oh, shut up! I meant on the celebrity status, dork. I don't agree with that article though. I think that people that are good looking or attractive get in as much trouble as the ones that supposedly aren't.
No, they are more likely to get into trouble than those that are not. And I say that the reason why is because the good looks allow them more latitude in getting away with that stuff than that. People are more willing to overlook flaws in people if they're good looking. And that is a study any human behavior, psychology, sociology, and you will see that in study after study. I agree with you. It shouldn't be that way.
Uh-oh.
But the amount of people that do that.
Get off my mouse.
Of that. Oh, we ran out of time.
And we're gone.
So we're gone.
Well, we didn't have the outro. Sorry, people.